What is up, my YouTubers, and welcome to the bad lighting. All right, so this is just part one of me talking. I'll probably record this on a few different times. But first off, if you saw my packing a hospital bag and then the video that I just uploaded currently, which it is Monday, September 1st, it is 4:28 p.m. I got a little behind on recording videos and stuff like that. The video I just posted today was just a little bit of my background videos that I never got to put into a video. I had planned on doing so many more, like an actual gender reveal, the old wives' tales with the genders, like what I craved. I still can talk about that. If anybody would like to know, you can leave that in the comments if you want me to look back on this pregnancy and say what I craved or how we knew what the gender was, etc., etc. If you did not see my packing the hospital bag with the gender towards the end, well, you should know by watching this video today that I just uploaded. Or if you still don't know, well, you'll find out at the end of this video. Anyways, so to backtrack, let's see, it was in July because baby was born in August. So in July, I always had I've had sciatic pain throughout my pregnancy. It started on my right side, and then it got better on my right side and went to my left side. And my sciatic pain was getting to the point where I could not walk anymore. It was so bad. I don't know if that's because I was doing too much around the house, or if I don't know, or if the baby was sitting weird. Um, Combination of both, whatever. So basically, what started all this, what I forgot to film, which I think I filmed in the video I uploaded today about certain Braxton Hicks. But there was one day where I was eating some lunch or breakfast or something. I was sitting on the couch. I was fine. Then all of a sudden, I get up to put my dish in the sink, and all of a sudden, my entire left side, the side of pain, shot down my leg and like kind of like paralyzed me. I could not move. I mean, like when I say that this pain was like horrendous, I have a very, very high tolerance for pain, a really high tolerance for pain. But it literally made me to the point where I wasn't crying. I just literally could not move. And it scared me. And then on top of that, I was having Braxton Hicks. So I didn't know if something happened to where I shifted in my sleep or if I did something. I don't know. But I was debating if I should go to the hospital. And that's why I made some of those other videos previous to this one, the little shorts. But I was laying down. I was trying to figure out if I should go to the hospital. I was trying to call my doctor to find out if I should go there to be checked out or go to the hospital. I know they probably say go to the hospital. So after much, much, much debate about it, I know a lot of it you can't really hear on the last video about me and Jim discussing if I should go to the hospital. I had to edit a lot of that out, but we ended up going to the hospital. What happened is I went in there and I said, I'm having paralyzing sciatic pain. I don't know if something's wrong with my sciatic nerve or the baby or something else. And they didn't really have a room ready for me to be checked out. So I waited probably almost, I want to say 2 hours in the waiting room area. And the pain was, I mean, like I was almost in tears. And like I said, I have a very high tolerance for pain. And I was walking around because I couldn't sit still. I thought if I was going into labor at all, I want to walk as much as possible and speed the labor along. Or if I decided to get the epidural, I knew I would be bedbound, so I didn't want that. So I just decided to walk around. Was that a smart idea? Probably not, because the pain was so bad. I should have sat down and rested, but I just couldn't. By the time I got to a room, they checked me out. Um, they put the baby monitor on me and just to see I was having very minor contractions, but they weren't consistent enough and they were too far apart to actually like be actual labor. Oop. Um, and then um, so they did check me out and they said that I was only dilated like a one, so I was doing something. Because Jim, before we went to the hospital, asked if I lost my mucus plug. And you guys can look up what a mucus plug is. If you've had kids or if you've been pregnant before, you know what it is. I have no idea because, I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and stuff, so I have no idea if, if I lost or not. But so they said I was dilated in one, but due to the baby was under stress and I was under stress, but they sent me home. Long story short, they sent me home, and um, we got home, and somehow magically, it was like that pain went away after I went to the hospital. It was like I had no sciatic pain in the right side or the left side at all. And then all of a sudden I started to get energy. I was waiting for that last minute energy burst that supposedly you get um, right before you know you're going into labor. I don't remember having energy bursts with my other kids. I don't know if it happens with everybody. Um, and I couldn't really tell because I'm so used to running around with the triplets and doing house stuff and everything. And since I was in no pain, um, I really couldn't tell because I was like, oh my God, I'm not in pain. Now I can actually do stuff without having to sit down and rest and almost cry my eyes out because I was in pain. So to me, that felt like the energy burst. But um, we had my doctor's appointment that next week, an ultrasound, and they said everything was right on track. She's still measuring small, but everything was still right on track. And then my doctor said, my actual OB doctor told me that, well, okay, I wasn't going to see my OB doctor until like the baby was actually like born or whatever. I was supposed to pick an induction date if I did not go in labor by a certain date. My OB doctor wanted to induce me at 39 weeks. Why I couldn't wait till one more week when I was 40 weeks, I don't know, but whatever. So she was going to induce me at 39 weeks. I was supposed to pick an induction date. I was supposed to do that at um, the OB center that I go to has an upstairs where the ultrasounds and certain other things are, and then downstairs is like the general practice OB, if that makes sense. So like just like your normal checkup. So I was supposed to go downstairs um, and pick an induction date, and that never happened. So my OB said, well, I don't understand why they didn't pick one. I said, I was waiting. I didn't think to ask them because I assumed that they were going to schedule one, et cetera, et cetera. I have asked them, which I did. I asked them a few times, upstairs and downstairs, hey, my OB wants me to pick an induction date. And we picked one. I think we picked one for the 15th or the 16th of August because that's the furthest out that we could go, that we were allowed to go. So basically, she said, okay, well, I think this was August, let's see, August 14th. Yes, August 14th. Yes, it was August 14th, which is funny because we were going to be induced on the 15th or 16th. Yes, it was Wednesday, Thursday, whenever August 13th, 14th was. So we went to my doctor's appointment in the morning, right? Okay. My OB said, well, we have to get you in no later than Friday to be induced. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my head, when we had picked the induction date to discuss, I didn't really think like, oh, like Friday is 2 days away, or, Wednesday is today. We could go in today. And I was joking around and said, we could do it today. And she was calling the hospital, the triage nurse, to find out where on the list I could be put, because there is a list. If you ever get induced, or if you're going to be induced, there is a list of priorities. Like there's the high risk people, there's people who come in with emergencies, there's people whose water breaks. I mean, there's a list. If you are not high risk and you're going to be induced, they'll put you probably at the bottom of the list because if you're healthy and everything else, they don't really, but there is a priority list when you get induced. I really didn't want to get induced because I really didn't want Pitocin, because I didn't want my body to do something that it wasn't ready to do. So, but at that point, I think I was just over being pregnant. Um, I think it wasn't like, I guess I wanted to sleep on my belly, and I was just tired of having the indigestion. I wanted like to have the energy back and everything else. So I was like, yes, we can be induced whenever. So she said, well, if you don't hear anything today, which is Wednesday, yes, it was Wednesday, August 14th, then we're going to get you in by Friday. And I said, okay. And when you're being induced, you can go in at any time. It doesn't matter if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 p.m., 10 p.m., or 10 a.m. It doesn't matter. You can go in at any time whenever they have a bed available. So we went home from my doctor's appointment, and we told my mom and Airly to get prepared because it could be tonight or it could be by Friday. and I checked my hospital bag. I repacked everything just to make sure I had everything. You know, the Bobby pillow was already in the car. Some things are already packed. I decided not to bring my laptop just because I just figured I didn't need to. I did bring my camera, and I had all intentions of filming me in labor and going through contractions and everything. And by the time I got there and thought about it, it just, I think I just didn't. Um, Again, there's a lot of things that I wanted to film that I just didn't. And then I found out that you can't film the actual birth anyways due to HIPAA reasons. I probably could have snuck film it, um, and then edited, you know, blurred out whatever or skipped some of it, but let's just say I didn't. So basically, we're sitting at home, we're, you know, making the triplets dinner, we're doing our normal thing, getting ready for bed, etc., etc. I think the triplets went down kind of late, because I don't know what we did that day, but like the triplets went down kind of late that day. And I just remember I was doing something. I don't remember exactly what I was doing. I think it was when they went to sleep, I was eating dinner. Either way, all of a sudden my phone rings and it's triage, and they're like, hey, you know, we have a bed available if you want to come in tonight, or you can wait, you know, because you know, we see that you have till Friday. And I was like, okay. So I was like, let me ask. Jim was out in the living room already, so I went out there and I said, they have a bed available if we want to do it tonight. And he said it was up to me because I'm the one who's pregnant. So I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. And I think at this time it was like 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that. So they said, okay, we'll see you. I said, we live in Rocky Point, which is about, you know, half an hour to 40 minutes away. They said, that's fine. You know, just, you know, check in at the desk when you get here, et cetera, et cetera. So, that was kind of nice that they held the bed, or at least they had a bed. Nobody like came in with an emergency, and somebody's wide awake right now. But hi, hi. So we pack up, we tell mom and Airly, you know, they're super excited, et cetera, et cetera. They had to come in here and sleep with the babies because Trenton likes to wake up in the middle of the night. Yes, Trenton still co-sleeps with us. We'll get to that in a minute. But because he'll freak out if somebody's not by him. So then let's see. So we go up to the hospital and we say, hey, you know, we're here for induction. And the lady remembered us because, you know, we were just in here 2 weeks prior, and because we have the triplets, and she recognized us from having the triplets because triplets are rare. A lot of twins were born, but not too many triplets. So we get there and we get into the room. I did film. If you guys follow me on TikTok, I don't remember if I put it on Instagram, but I know I put it on TikTok. If you guys follow me, I did post a hospital room and a few little blurbs on TikTok about me going into labor. Um, so you guys know that. And then basically, I kept the dress on that I was wearing, and um, I was very excited because they have a peanut like bouncy thing. It's not really a bouncy thing, but it looks like a peanut. And then I asked for labor ball instead because the peanut was fine, but I just thought the ball might be a little bit easier. And I kept seeing all these people with balls, and I thought, hey, you know, that's cool. I want to try one. I've never tried one before. And then I was going to have like one of those labor bars. It's a bar that hooks up to the bed so you can like squat and do some other things on it that you would like to. Um, they didn't have a chance to put the bar up, but basically what happened is we get there, walk around, it was fine, et cetera, et cetera. Got hooked up to the IVs. Oh, this is a funny story. So, let me put you down, little girl. Um, I wish I would have saved my pictures of my arms. The My left arm, my vein in my left arm tends to roll. I am so used to getting IVs in my hand, not anywhere else in my arm. So they tried to stick me, like right here. I think they tried right here in my, yeah, they tried right here in my left arm, and that one blew. Basically meaning that my vein rejected the needle. Then they tried right here, and my vein rejected that. So then they got it. Finally, they got it up here for my IV. Basically, they stuck me, I think, 3 times on my right and like four or five times on my left, and they only got twice for them to stick. Every other vein blue, which is really, really rare. Really, really rare for me. I've only had that one other time, and that was when I was giving plasma, and that was when somebody new was doing it. So I've never heard fully about veins blowing, but I mean, my arm from like here, like literally here down all the way was bruised from the needle pricks. Um, yeah, that was fun. Um, it wasn't like malpractice or anything. It's just because my veins were rejecting the needles, which was just really weird. But anyways, so they give me the Pitocin. They explained that the Pitocin starts as the lowest dose, and then they increase it as the contractions increase to help labor along. Um, they asked me about pain medicines, and I said, well, I don't know right now if I want the epidural. I will do anything else. Like, I'll do like um, the gas labor, the gas, which I didn't even think was an option. I don't know why I didn't think about it at the time. I knew gas was an option at other hospitals, but so I was like, I could do the gas. I could do um, pain meds, like not Tylenol, but other IV meds to whatever I can if I'm in pain. So once they give me that, they hooked me up to the mobile IV drip line, so that way I can go to the bathroom, or if I wanted to walk down the hallway, which I really didn't need to walk down the hallway. The room was big enough that if I wanted to walk the room, I could. But this way I could get up and go to the bathroom if I needed to. So I think I went to the bathroom like once or twice while I was actually in labor. But I did get the labor ball, and I was sitting on that. Now, when you're on the labor ball, you don't want to bounce; you want to roll. And I was having so much fun. I put on, I think, Chopped, because I'm not used to having TV anymore. I'm used to, watching YouTube or having whatever the triplets watch. So I put on TV. I think I was watching Chopped. I think I was watching Four Weddings. I mean, there was a couple different things on. I think there was a movie on, but I was zoning out, rolling on around on this ball, just hanging out, and I didn't feel any contractions at all. I mean, I felt some, but they weren't like strong, strong. And then I'd look at the screen when they would get strong. Because I was like, oh, let's see how strong this contraction is. Because it always helped me in my past to look at the screen when I was having contractions just to know when they were over or when the peak was. So, oh, no, 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 honey, no, no, no. All right, she just spit up. But, honey, baby girl. So, anyways, I'm sitting there on the ball and I'm just hanging out, and all of a sudden they start to get stronger. So I'm breathing through them. I'm leaning over the bed at this point, still on the ball. I'm like, okay, they're getting stronger. And uh, then all of a sudden I got the urge that I needed to get off the ball and get to bed and change positions because I was like, okay, these are getting stronger. So I need to figure out like how else. Oh, back up, back up, back up. So at one point, when they did give me Pitocin, they asked me, I think I was a 3, almost a 4 by this point, before they gave me the Pitocin. That's what I was going to say. And in order to help labor along, they did something called a cook. I think that's the term. Um, Basically, what it is, it's a ball, it's two balls on like a string. And what they do is they put them inside your cervix, and they inflate them, and it's supposed to help you dilate. I think that's the term, cook. Um, and at first, I didn't want that because I thought that would be weird, but then they explained it to me, which I'm not a medical professional, and this is now almost 3 weeks out. And you guys can ask your own nurses or whatever, or look up the term. But anyway, so they did that. It's supposed to help you dilate from. Hold on, baby girl. Supposed to help you dilate from like a 3 to a 6. So basically, and then it falls out naturally. Well, I did get that. By the time the contractions were getting kind of bad, they, no, before they got bad, I had to get on the bed because they had to check me because I thought that it had fallen out. But when they checked me, they couldn't pull it out. So they said, I'm probably not far enough along. Come to find out that the, one of the balloons was behind something, or it was inflated. They got it out. So I was basically at like a 7 almost at that point. Um, but they did break my water. That's what I was gonna say. They broke my water, so I got back in the bowl and I was uh, wiggling around. By the time now, by the time the contractions got bad, I sat backwards on the bed. I had my, the bed was escalated, so I was sitting facing backwards on the bed to have gravity help with the contractions. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they got horrendously bad. So in my head, I thought, well, the ball thingy, the cook thing, just fell out. So, or just got taken out. So I'm probably like 6, 7. Okay, I have 3 more to go. And I kept thinking, okay, I have 3 more to go. And they did ask me, well, if I want the epidural, I have to get on the list now. And because I won't have time. And I said, no, I'm going to try it. I would like, to do the gas instead. Well, so the nurse, I signed off for the gas, paperwork for the gas. She went to go get the gas stuff. And by the time she came back, I rolled over and I'm like, I have to push like now. So she said, I know you have to push, but and I know we tell people to hold it, but by the time that she got back, it seemed like this. It probably wasn't this long, but basically, I went from like a 7 to a 10 in 45 minutes. Yeah. So, and she didn't even get a chance to do the gas, hook it up or anything. So I I pushed like I think 3 times. I mean, it's weird because like the pain was there, and I kept screaming, I can't do this. I knew I could, but I kept screaming, I can't do this, I can't do this. But I mean, once she came out, it was fine. And overall, I'm very, very happy I did not have any pain meds. Um, because it's weird how I know each pregnancy, each labor and delivery story is different, but I'm happy I didn't because I didn't have that after pain feel. I didn't feel groggy from an epidural. I didn't have like severe pain. I did tear a tiny bit. Um, TMI. Here's a very TMI part. So if you don't like TMI gross stories, then you could skip ahead a little bit. But I did actually poop. Yes. Um, I will tell you, labor and delivery nurses, doctors, they don't care if you poop. It's normal because you have all that pressure on your butt. I mean, I like had a big turd. We'll put it that way. And I remember somebody coming with um, the the I call them piddle pads. They're not piddle pads, bed pads, and having to take a bunch of them out because I pooped a lot. So that's my TMI. But so yep. She came out. It is a girl. Her name is Bailey Ray, and this is her now. This is her now. Yay! I'm sure you've seen her on like TikToks. But anyways, right after she was born, she went to the little baby area over there, and I don't know if it was because labor came on so fast or it was just her, but they had to suction out a lot of fluid from her. I mean, like a lot of fluid, and like she had like almost her. It looked like a lot of amniotic fluid in her. So they took her down to the NICU just to monitor her because of the fluid, and she did great in the NICU. Her blood pressure or her oxygen stats. I'm sorry, her oxygen kept dipping. So, and that could have been done to the fluid in her, but she recovered pretty fast. She was only in a NICU for one night, and then so it was weird not having her the first night um, in the room with us and not being able to fully do skin to skin, but it was okay because she's healthy and she's thriving. Um, but we did go down to NICU and see her a couple times. Then Jim had to come home, obviously because we had triplets and he wanted to make sure everything was good at home. And he had to get the car seat because we didn't have a time to get the car seat installed. So while he was gone, I was there by myself and I was doing updates with the nurses and the NICU trying to figure out when she's going to come. They were talking about when to discharge me since I was doing great. I didn't have any hemorrhaging. My bleeding has pretty much stopped with my uh, birth. Oh, here's another funny story. So after she was delivered, you're supposed to deliver your placenta. Well, this is funny because my placenta did not want to come out. 3 different nurses came in trying to rub on my belly to get my placenta out. And it took the male nurse to rub a certain way because the only The only other option was to actually go in and scrape off my placenta. Now, my placenta was in the front, so I don't know if that was just a frontal placenta thing or I just had a very stubborn placenta. But they didn't want to go in and scrape it off. I'm not using proper medical terms here, but that's the way I hit. And because it would hurt, obviously, and then it could cause bleeding and hemorrhaging and everything else. So the male nurse came in and he pressed like, I mean, ridiculously hard and he did something, but eventually it did come out and that was good. It took like a while for it to come out, but it did come out. And no, I did not keep it to eat or make like placenta pills or placenta smoothies or anything. I know it's just going to be tossed in the biohazard trash, but yes, if you guys don't know that, if you don't want to keep your placenta, it just gets tossed in the basically in the trash. I didn't have any reason to keep it, so. But anyways, so this is now Thursday or Friday. I'm losing track of my days. It's now the 15th of August, and I'm in my room. She's doing great in the NICU, and they're talking about discharging me and maybe keeping her a little bit longer just to make sure she was going to come up to the room. They were telling me when she was going to come up to the room. They had to do like the hearing tests and everything else for her first. So by the time I think it was like an hour after they told me all that, she came up to the room and I was so excited. I was like, yay! And they did her hearing test. She passed her hearing test. She was doing great. I had no after labor pain from giving a vaginal birth. Oh, I did have a vaginal, by the way. And I had energy. Like I wasn't really that tired, which is great. So I think it was all that adrenaline stuff. I mean, eventually I would have crashed because all that adrenaline of having no pain, medication, a birth, and then having, and then, you know, but um, then I lose my train of thought. Um, where was I? Where was I? Anyways, by the time they, by the time she came up to the room and they were discussing, they were in the middle of doing her hearing test, and I guess a couple of the nurses came in and said, "Well, since she's doing great, and we have so many people that like are due to come in, like and give birth. Apparently, like so many people are due around her date. They said, since you're great and you're healing and she's doing great and we don't see any other problems, et cetera, et cetera, would you both be okay going home today?" And I said, yeah. And I think that's when reality kicked in because I was like, oh, so we basically went from, oh, pick an induction date to pick an induction date to, okay, tonight, and then to, oh, she's in the NICU to, oh, we're going home. So told Jim that we're going home by the time he got back. So he started loading up the car with everything. And we told Mom and Airly that we're coming home. And I can't remember what time we left. It was in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. But yeah, we did film us coming home, which I can add in a different video. It might be a short video, but I have to find the footage that I took and then add it. Probably not to this video. But yeah, so far, um, I haven't filmed like her first night coming home, the triplets. I filmed coming home and the triplets meeting her and the dogs meeting her and everything, but I haven't filmed like her first night home or first week home or anything or morning routine. She is now going to be 3 weeks old on Thursday. Um, and so far, um, I haven't been in any pain, like after labor pain, postpartum pain, that's what it's called. I haven't been in any postpartum pain, which is great. So if you see me looking, because I see Jim's outside weeding in the yard, and I don't know what, I see things flying. I think he's trying to throw things in a fire pit. Anyways, yes, no pain for postpartum, luckily. Um, she is breastfeeding formula if needed. And at first, the first week we came home, I was producing enough to pump, but we have a hand pump until we get a WIC and get a electric one. And she's definitely eating enough, but I don't feel like I'm producing enough to pump, if that makes sense. it's hard to explain, but we do have our bassinet. She tries to sleep in it, but mostly she likes to sleep with me, which I know is dangerous and stuff. Basically, um, I feed her, and then I make sure that she's like not gonna spit up or anything, or that she's well fed, and then then I put her back to sleep. Her schedule, she's usually awake. She is waking up more during the day. She's eating right now. I swear she's a comfort eater, which is newborn, uh, common in newborns that they comfort feed. Um, I know she's getting enough because her poops are definitely regular and definitely breast milk poop. The triplets love her. Um, Trenton, especially, he hugs and kisses her. Millie is the second one. Every time she cries, Millie tries to like comfort her. Um, Izzy does love her. She's more of like if she's alone with Jim and the baby, then she'll come up. But she's, it is a little hard because I want to give the triplets enough attention, and I feel bad that I have to give her all my attention. Um, and I wish I could pump more to have somebody else feed her, and then I can play with the triplets. But at first it was kind of hard, but we kind of got into a routine, and I don't think I'm as tired. Obviously, I'm not as tired as with the triplets, but I'm not as tired because I've been with the triplets, and it's one baby versus three, and I'm so used to their routine that this one just falls into their place. She only wakes up maybe once or twice at night. The hardest part is the 3, 4 o'clock in the morning feed, um, but usually it's not as bad as what I remember. Again, I think it's just because I'm so used to having a routine with the triplets. The pets love her. The cats ignore her pretty much. The only one who really, really Blaze is very attached to her. Like he's like, I don't know if that's just a Staffy thing, but he's kind of attached to her. Um, but yeah, that's the pregnancy, labor, delivery, postpartum. Mentally, mentally, so far, I am actually doing a lot better. I really, really thank the psych for putting me on Effexor and 150 of Effexor because that's helping me so much with postpartum. I mean, I get a little like angry, like not angry, I get annoyed. That's it. I get overwhelmed and annoyed at certain things, but I don't get like crying fits. Doesn't mean that I won't have them. It just means that right now I'm doing mentally okay. And I really think that with the Effexor and my family helping and just knowing that we had a routine before she was born. Um, but yeah, that's the labor delivery postpartum journey so far. I might be leaving stuff out. I'm pretty sure, as always, that I am. Um, Going back to Trenton though, yes, Trenton is still co-sleeping with us. We are trying to transition him. We are like, it's hard because we have this the big playpen behind me back there that the girls sleep in until we get toddler beds, and he wants to sleep in there, but he's so used to sleeping with us, you know. Um, and it's kind of hard. It's not as hard co-sleeping with him now that I'm not pregnant, and he's not like trying to scoot me off bed or kick me in a certain way. It only gets hard when I have to have the boppy pillow around me at night, and then he's trying to snuggle me at the same time, and the boppy pillow kind of goes over Trenton's face. But other than that, super good, right? And yeah. So, any questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns, you guys can leave those below. Um, yes, little Miss Bailey Ray here. She was 5 pounds, 15.4 ounces. She was born at 12:18 p.m. on August 14th. She is thriving, and we say, guys, stay awesome.